Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Blyth Daylong. I am the Executive Director at the Adelphi University Performing Arts Center, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to our 7th show, our live from the Adelphi PAC Livingroom show. Thank you so much for being here and joining us. We are coming to you, as always, live from the Adelphi PAC Annex, otherwise known as my Mineola apartment. So thank you again for joining us. As many of us continue to live aspects of our lives virtually, we wanted to find a way to continue to bring entertainment to our audience, showcase Adelphi's talented students, employees, and alumni, and to give everyone a short break from the outside world. Speaking of the outside world, I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment to acknowledge the communities around the country that are fighting back against racism, injustice, and inequality. Now, it is not my place to be the one talking about this right now, but rather to really listen to those who are angry and to reaffirm that every person is worthy of dignity, care, respect, compassion, and opportunity. No one should be judged, helped, or hurt simply because of their skin color, gender identity, ethnicity, religion, ability, or sexuality. But now more than ever, it's important to acknowledge that this absolutely happens every day, and we need to figure out a way that each of us can personally take ownership of our own role in this problem and find a way to become even just a small part of the solution. Adelphi University strives to be a model of diversity and inclusion and will continue to find ways to bring people together. I hope everyone stays safe and that we all come out of this as better people. Now, that said, we will continue to be doing this show every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time with guests from the worlds of dance, music, and theater, bring performances from our home to yours. So we have another packed show tonight, and without further ado, I'd like to welcome our first guest from the Department of Music, class of 2006, Kristin Barone-Samadi. Kristin, welcome.
Hello, Blyth. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. We are thrilled to have you here and joining us tonight. Good to see you. And now, where exactly are you? Where in the world are you coming to us from?
I'm not too far from Adelphi right now. My family's living in Forest Hills in Queens, so maybe about 30 minutes.
Great, nice.
Yeah.
You're not that far away. And how are you doing? How is everything going for you? How are you?
I'm pretty good, much better than I was a couple of weeks ago. I was quarantined for 6 weeks and I didn't go outside at all. It was very difficult. My husband had very strict rules about, being careful. And we have 2 young kids, so if we brought them out,
Sure.
They'd just touch everything.
Yeah, of course.
So I was really feeling down that we didn't have a backyard. We're on the 4th floor of an apartment, so it was very difficult. But I started this quarantine series, and I'm up to my 43rd piece that I recorded. So the music has really helped a lot.
I mean, I'm sure that it has. It has been helping all of us. We've all been turning to things like that to get through all this and to fill up our time now. So speaking of, we are going to see one of those now. Do you want to tell us what we're about to watch and give us a little bit of background on it? And
Sure.
then we'll go to the video.
Absolutely. This is from Bach's Italian Concerto, and it's the first movement, 3 movements. And it's so interesting that you chose this. I sent you a bunch of pieces and you went to my YouTube and picked something else. And the reason, I didn't tell you this yesterday, but it was interesting that you chose it because I first started learning this with Adrian at Adelphi. And I had never finished it. And now I finally have the time. So it's such a great piece. And I worked on it over the years. I kept picking it up and putting it down again. And I said during the quarantine, that's it. I'm just going to do it. So I recorded 2 out of the 3 movements, and I'm working on the 3rd now. And that's it. It's just pure joy. It's absolutely, it lifts you up. That was one of the pieces that really, puts you in a better mood.
It really is, and is wonderful, and is exactly the reason why I was like, maybe we should do this, and I love that there happens to be an Adelphi connection to it.
Yes,
just you, so that's wonderful. So we will share that with everyone now. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kristin. And now, as you mentioned earlier, you have done a bunch of these. One way for people to see more of your work, more of these videos that will point you probably to your social media channels, is through your website that's on the screen now.
Yes.
What are some other ways that people can find all of these as you continue to post them?
I started posting on Instagram and Facebook as well. I think Facebook is the easiest way. Most people have that, but also Instagram and YouTube. So people can feel free to add me on Facebook, and I'm trying to post as often as I can.
Which is fantastic. Great. We love it. We will be sharing another piece of yours at the end of the show. So we're not quite done with you, at least with your work yet. But thank you again for joining us tonight, and we will see a little bit more of you later. But thank you again for what you shared with us, and I encourage everyone to find her on Facebook, head to her website, and check out more of your work.
Thank you so much, Blyth.
Thanks, Kristin. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Okay, so next up, it is my pleasure to welcome the chair of our Department of Theater, the always delightful Nick Petron.
Hey, Blythe, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Before we get into our stuff, let me just thank Kristin. That was beautiful. And her coach mentor, Adrian Bombelli, who I want to send out a great yasu to.
I mean, we're all a big fan of Adrian. That's all. I mean, it's anytime we can talk about her too, that's even better. So yeah, thank you. And yeah, that was wonderful. And I will say, she was not kidding that she has literally dozens of these short little videos and snippets posted all over. So I encourage everyone to check them out. They're all really wonderful. So
indeed.
Thanks for an extra plug for Kristin, Nick.
No.
Now now I know the answer to this, but tell everyone where you are coming to us from.
I am approximately 160 miles north of Garden City, in an old farmhouse that's 140 years old that my wife Regina and I have been attempting to restore for the last 40 years. And it's pretty wonderful.
It's great. It is a very lovely place. You have found a magical place to be weathering the storm, for lack of a better term,
Indeed.
right now. And your garden looks great.
You got to see it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The garden is in. I've been cooking a lot and reading things I don't have to, as well as new plays. And it's been part of a joy during this horrible storm.
Sure. Now, as part of your semester, one of the classes you teach, I hope I'm getting this right, is a scene studies class with your sophomores, right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And so tell us about the assignment that led us to what we're going to see in just a few minutes here.
Yeah, well, in the fall semester, I work with the sophomores on text analysis and monologue work. And in the second semester, we segue into scene study. So now it becomes a little more complex, but the research is the same. However, now you're dealing with another character, another actor. And so I assigned all of the scenes except one of them, which they brought to me. There were 5 to 6 scenes all told. And I gave this scene to them and said, I think this is going to help you expand based on what I know of your work from the fall semester. And they jumped right in and they did such a wonderful job. I asked them to record it so that we could share it with other people.
Great. So I'm very happy to add in Sophia and Colby. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Colby. Yeah, thank you, Colby, for unmuting your microphone. Welcome to you both. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for taking the time to record the work you did for the class and put that together and get us to you. So now where are each of you coming to us from? It's my favorite thing to ask everyone. So Sophia, let's start with you.
I'm coming to us from Hastings-on-Hudson, Westchester, New York, about 20 minutes north of the city, my hometown.
Nice, excellent. And Colby?
And I am almost 1,000 miles away in Orlando, Florida.
Fantastic, which might explain the magnificent delay we have in hearing your audio. So, yeah. Which, we'll make it work. All right, good. We will, hopefully that will correct itself. So why don't you guys tell us a little bit about what this project was and what the piece is that we're going to see, the kind of work that you did for this assignment to be ready for it, and then and set it up in any way that we might need to know more about it before we actually watch this scene that you've done.
Yeah, perfect. So it's from a short play called The Audition is Over. We are both playing middle-aged women, so that was a little bit of a stretch for us, but we both had a really good time with it. I think the preparation for us was about the same. We created a joint Google Doc where we decided, okay, like, when is this taking place? Who are we? Who are we to each other? We were able to do that over FaceTime and stuff like that. I think the real challenge that came with doing the scene was figuring out how it was going to work over Zoom, how it was going to work so far away from each other. Yeah, Coco, you wanna jump on?
Yeah. So it was definitely a very, very fun experience. Going into it, being that we were able to have Nick for a few weeks, and he held these scenes so tight. We didn't know what it was. We were like, "What is our scene? What is our scene? What is our scene?" And then we had to end up doing it virtually. But Nick has always told us that we should shed our skin, and I think in these scenes we really had to. Like Sophia said, we're playing middle-aged women. Like, we don't know what that's like. We're not at that age yet. But it was really an opportunity for us to really challenge ourselves and go the extra mile and let our guard down and really just embody these characters and bring them to life the way they deserve to be and tell their stories.
Yeah. I think just to set up the scene, we placed it in 1961 in Kent, Ohio. And it takes place in a little summer stock theater, in mid-July.
Okay, great. So let us take a look at this scene from The Audition is Over.
Marge! Oh, Marge, it's so good to see you.
It's been so long, 6 years.
How we happen to just miss each other.
Every time.
I know, I played here summer before last, and you were in Europe.
I know. The year before I spent Christmas in New York, and you were...
Out on the road with... Oh, well, can you stay all day? Have lunch? We'll have it up in my room. Take off our girdles and chatter away. I'll even get some chocolate bars. Remember how we used to...
Oh, Em, don't tell me you still...
Of course not. But today I'll... Well, what do you say? Can you do that?
I don't know my plans, Em. You see, I drove Nancy over here. She's outside, and...
I might as well tell you.
Mrs. Russell is here. I saw her car. I rather expected it.
The door's closed. She can't hear you.
I wouldn't mind if she did. Now it's a question of a showdown. I imagine Mrs. Russell has been working your sympathies, putting on the lonesome, heartbroken mother act. You needn't answer. I'm well acquainted with the lady.
She seemed quite desperate, Marge.
Her kind always is. That's how she gets what she wants. Mrs. Russell is a jealous, possessive woman who would stop at nothing to get her own way. She'd wreck her daughter's life, or anybody else's, to make them conform to her narrow, limited point of view. A negative personality who keeps her eyes on the ground. She's afraid to look up. She might see the horizon, or the sun, or the stars.
What about the boy? She said there was a boy, Jerry, or
What? Oh, yes! There's Jerry and Bob and Lester, probably half a dozen others. Nancy's very popular. First I'd heard as though there were any one boy who... Well, now she's added blighted love to her repertory. The woman is truly amazing.
Marge, I don't like this agreement you made that I should decide.
Mrs. Russell forced that on me, Em. Made it a question of put up or shut up, with the obvious idea of getting to you first and influencing your decision. I wasn't worried, of course.
No?
No, because I know you, Em. I had the advantage of her in that respect. I know you don't like auditioning, Em. You told me once. I wouldn't have asked you to hear Nancy, but for the fact that, well, she's...
Exceptional?
More than that, a great deal more. You used to say I had some slight gift.
You had a great gift, Marge. You had more ability than I had, or...
No, nothing like that. But, well, Nancy has something that... It lights from within. It's deep and it's true. It's... How can I describe it?
You can't. Nobody can.
In addition to which, she's the most terrific worker I've ever met in my life. There, that's all I'm going to say.
But Marge, Marge, dear, if you feel this way about the girl, why did you need me?
I've got to be sure, Em. Sure.
In the theater, one can never be sure.
No, I don't mean getting the breaks. I mean the spark. I know the girl. I could be prejudiced. I could be mistaken. I need a completely disinterested opinion.
I could be mistaken too, you know.
Anybody could be mistaken, but I trust your judgment above all others. I know that from you I'll get the truth.
You feel very deeply about this, don't you?
More than you know. The day you and I graduated, Em, had our commencement.
Friday, June the 4th, Town Hall on 43rd Street.
I was the happiest girl alive. It was as though I was stretching out my hand to open a door, and behind that door were all of the beautiful, wonderful things in the entire world. Maybe that door would be hard to open. Maybe I'd have to beat it down. It didn't matter. I'd get it open. And I did, remember?
Yes.
that little thing in the silent one, barely a walk-on, but it was open, a tiny crack. And then bang! The door was shut in my face forever.
Great work. Great work from you both. Well done. Thank you so much again for sharing that with us. I really appreciate you all three of you being here tonight and sharing that work with us. So anything any of you want to say before we move on?
I think I would just add that the backstory of that entire scene is that Marjorie and Emily, who I play, we went to college together, and we lost contact for like over 6 years. And this is our first encounter with each other. So with the title being The Audition is Over, I hate auditioning. Like, my character just does not like it. And Marjorie, she's just so adamant about auditioning this girl, and I need her to be great. I need her. And I'm kind of stuck in the middle of it. And my place in it is to say, like, okay, enough is enough, you know? But I really enjoyed working with Nick and Sophia virtually as much as possible. I know if we did it in person, it would be like even more grand, and things like that. But it was a very great learning experience, and definitely trying something new, not only virtually, but a brand new quality of work.
Great. Excellent. Thank you, Colby, for that. I appreciate that. And a belated happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Throw that in. Yes, it was just a couple days ago, so enjoy. And anything else from anyone?
No, I was just going to say that
yes, please.
About a bit of the backstory, but Colby just filled that in. So
there you go.
I'm so proud of their work, having to shift right into a scene from being in person 2 days before to working on the scene virtually. They really rose to the occasion. So I'm very proud of them.
That's fantastic and great to hear. So thank you all again. Congratulations on the great work. And we look forward to seeing more of your work in the future at Adelphi.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. Okay, and with that said, we are always looking for folks to perform on the show. So if you are interested in joining us on a future broadcast and you're a current Adelphi student, you're an alumni, you're an employee, please shoot us an email at pac@adelphi.edu, the email address you see on the screen. We will look forward to having you on a future broadcast. So please take a moment to do that. And also, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. There are a lot of features that unlock based on the number of subscribers you have. So if you take a moment, if you're not watching us on YouTube now, or you're watching us later, please find our YouTube page, our YouTube channel. It's Adelphi University Performing Arts Center, and take a minute to subscribe to our channel. It will give us additional features as we move forward and continue on these. And also we'll be sure to remind you and make it easier to find our show every week. So with that, next up, I am excited to share the work of an alum from our Department of Dance, the fantastic and wonderful and always delightful Melissa Ryker. So we are going to get a better sense of what her company does. Her company, Kinesis Project Dance Theater. We are going to see a brief glimpse of the kind of work that her company performs. This video really gives you a good sense of how they work, what they work, and the kind of things that they do. And then we will be back to talk to Melissa and share more of her projects.
Kinesis Project Dance Theater is a nonprofit organization that creates site-specific dance performances and facilitates educational programs. The company produces large-scale, space-changing, and unexpectedly intimate dances.
Kicking around on a piece of ground in your hometown, waiting for something and someone to show you the way. What can I do? All I want is to be next to you. What can I do? All I want is to be next to you. Run and you run to catch up with somebody sinking, racing around to come up behind you again. The sun is the same in a relative way, but you're older, short of breath, one day closer to death.
Kinesis Project is at the forefront of the international discussion of placemaking, art engagement with diverse communities, and the cultural imperative of art in public spaces.
So that gives you a little sense, my computer being angry and just deciding to cause some problems during that playback, but we will talk more about it. It does give you a good sense of what their work is. So I am thrilled to bring in Melissa Ryker from Adelphi's class of, I'm going to say 96. Is that right?
Good guess. Yes, 96.
I feel like I have that written down, but it's not on this piece of paper I'm looking at now. So, you know.
I did remember to put it next to my name. So
I mean, thank you. I appreciate that. Well done. Oh man, computer is not happy today. It's okay. I'll make it work. It's okay. So, Melissa, why don't you tell us a little bit more about? Oh, wait. My favorite first question. Where are you coming to us from?
I am in northern Manhattan. I am on the northernmost tip of Manhattan in Inwood. We are probably at the equivalent of around 204, and Manhattan ends at 218 or 219. So all the way up now.
All right, you are. Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Great, welcome. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
So tell us a little more about what your company is up to, Kinesis Project Dance Theater, and kind of work you do, and as most importantly, what we're going to see in just a few minutes, assuming that my computer doesn't just explode.
Well, I do hope that your computer doesn't explode, but I can tell you those things, even if I can't help you with your computer, Blyth.
It's okay. It's okay.
So Kinesis Project, as you saw, creates large-scale outdoor public performance. We are working all the time to try to bring dance in front of as many people as we can. And many of the sites that were in that video, they were public beaches. The Seattle waterfront is in that space. We were in broken buildings in Fort Tilden, and Riverside Park along the edge of Manhattan, and South Street Seaport. And just an interesting little fact about the dancing that happens in that video is that there are a number of different locations where Secrets and Seawalls happens. And Secrets and Seawalls, Adelphi was a major push for us and a major home for us to create that work. I thought that I was still making it in a theater, and you let us workshop it in the black box. And then it exploded to outside, and it's been on beaches and in many, many other spaces since Adelphi. So thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was great having you there. We were able to give you some rehearsal space for a while, a performance space for a while. and also made you figure out that your company was not about doing work inside of theaters anymore. You were just going to do things outside. So we're happy to have been a catalyst for that as well. So
yes, it was lovely inside.
Sure, but
it was even better outside.
That's right. Exactly.
Right. So I think the piece that we're about to see, from that video, someone might be able to tell that we take over a lot of space, and there's a lot of color usually in our work. There's one piece where we use sand, and the sand pours out of the costumes, which was also thanks to Carson Fox and another Adelphi moment at the Ephemeral Festival. And we have another piece in Persistence of Memory that has a 32-foot wide and 110-foot long dress. So all of these things can no longer fit inside, or no one wants them inside if it's sand pouring all over the place.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So we work a lot in the large spaces and in being able to have our audience in one landscape, and the dance is happening in a completely different landscape because they're so far away. And then they get closer and closer and pull the audience in. The piece that we're about to look at is probably my most intimate piece that I've made as far as distance to the audience. And it's called Breathing with Strangers. And yes, there's a reason that it's the most intimate piece. And it was also created because I was incredibly inspired by spaces on the subway and witnessing kindness between strangers and kindness between people who are very different. And the questions of this piece are, how do we see other people? When is the tipping point of a choice to be kind, and what is proximity? And those questions they feel very important right now.
Yeah.
And even in the time of quarantine, they felt very important because proximity and distance and intimacy are very different now amongst all of us. So that is Breathing with Strangers.
Absolutely. Great. Well, let us take a look at some excerpts from this great work.
Thank you.
Say I don't want to leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind. If a youthful heart can love you, yes, and give you what you need. Said there's a youthful heart can love you, yes, and give you what you need. But I'm too old to go chasing you around, wasting my precious energy. Baby, just give me one reason. Give me just one reason why. Baby, just give me one reason. Ooh, give me just one reason why I should stay. 'Cause I told you that I love you, and there ain't no more to say. Da 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 da.
I need it again. Would you mind grabbing underneath my arm? If one person is brave enough, would you walk over here and put a hand on my back, please? Thank you.
Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. Da da da. We're 1,000 miles from comfort. We have traveled land and sea. As long as you are with me, my heart continues to beat. I would wait forever, exalted in the scene. As long as I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. Da da dum, da da dum, da 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 dum, da da dum, da da dum, da da dum. Do.
All right, now we're going to try and do the consent. All right. Ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was a rainy evening.
It was a rainy evening. It was a rainy evening.
Walking in Chelsea.
In Chelsea.
It had been pouring all day.
All day.
It had been pouring all day. That turns trash cans into umbrella
The kind of downpour that turns trash cans into umbrella graveyards.
Everyone was speed walking, including me.
Including me.
I was headed to the subway. Everyone was speed walking.
I was heading to the subway.
And I saw the reflection of a traffic light.
The reflection of a traffic light in a puddle. Just so.
So I pulled out my camera
To try to take a picture.
I pulled out my camera to try to take a picture. The man across the street from me. The man
Across the street from me, motioned. It's better from here.
It's better from here. He motioned and said, "It's better from here."
It's better from here.
He motioned and said, "It's better from here."
Get up in the evening and I ain't got nothing to say. I come home in the morning, I go to bed feeling the same way. I ain't nothing but tired. Man, I'm just tired and bored with myself. Hey there, baby, I could use just a little help. You can't start a fire. You can't start a fire without a spark. This gun's for hire. Even if we're just dancing in the dark, messages keep getting clearer. Radio's on and I'm moving round my place. I check my look in the mirror. Wanna change my clothes, my hair, my face. Man, I ain't getting nowhere. I'm just sitting in a dump like this. There's something happening somewhere. Baby, I just know that there is. You can't start a fire. You can't start a fire without a spark. This gun's for hire. Even if we're just dancing in the dark, sitting around getting older. There's a joke here somewhere and it's on me. Shake this world off my shoulders. Come on, baby, this laugh's on me. Stay on the streets of this town.
Fantastic work as always.
Thank you for all of that.
Yeah, of course.
So the something to know about that piece was that we collected the score from songs people listen to on the subway. So at various shows, we were collecting songs that people listen to as they're traveling, either on the subway or just in commute.
Oh, nice.
So that was where some of our songs came from.
And changed each time, or?
It has changed. I mean, when we did it in Riverside Park, we actually had 5 opera singers. And each dancer had an opera singer that was paired to them. And so that we had this kind of wonderful cacophony that happened as dancers were soloing, and then everyone started moving together. There's one song that has stayed through everything, and that's Valerie. And we might be starting to finally shed Valerie too, but that tune has stuck with it.
It's great. I mean, and really, again, showcases how much your work changes and evolves over time, which is one of the things that I love about it. And that as you go to different locations and do it at different places, that also affects the work, and the people that happen to be walking by that particular day can change things too. So it's great. I encourage everyone to visit your website. The website for Kinesis Project Dance Theater is as simple as kinesisproject.com. There's more videos of your work there. There's a lot more information about you. I encourage folks to also find you guys on social media to see what you're up to. You're continuing to do some work even now.
We are. Mm-hmm.
And
well, yeah, this is a site too. You know, we've been in rehearsals and we're using it as though it's another site to be placing work. So we actually have a Breathing with Strangers version for Zoom, where we used as much depth and interaction as we possibly could.
I mean, sure. I don't doubt that for a moment with the great work that you guys do. So thank you again, Melissa, for being with us tonight and sharing
so much,
those great excerpts. And I encourage everyone to check your stuff out and enjoy the rest of your evening and stay safe, Melissa.
Thank you. You too.
I look forward to seeing you soon.
I will see you in person soon.
Absolutely. So before we close tonight, I want to highlight a couple of things that are coming up, some virtual events that Adelphi has coming, and leave you with a final performance from Kristin, as we promised at the beginning. There is a great new series of events that have just started up in the last week or two called Experience Adelphi. This is a new online series of 30-minute courses taught by faculty from all around the university about a variety of topics. These are online on Thursdays at 1 p.m. It is a live event. If you visit events at events.adelphi.edu. There you will find that event as well as many others. These Thursday at 1 o'clock experiences are free, but you do need to register in advance so that we can get you all the information you need to be included. So there's a great one coming up this Thursday. There are more to come in the weeks ahead. So that is every Thursday at 1 o'clock, as well as this website will give you other virtual events that are coming that the university has going on. It is not too late to register for our second summer session. We talked a lot about it a few weeks ago as we were gearing up for summer one. That's now well underway, but there are still more classes to come in the summer. There are some great discounts, some fantastic courses from all around the university, all different areas of study. So be sure to visit summer.adelphi.edu for the complete list of all of that information. And another fantastic event coming up later this month is Adelphi's virtual gala. We would be doing our annual gala in just a few weeks, and we're still going to do that in some fashion virtually to raise funds specifically for student scholarships. We have some fantastic things in the works, including a very special virtual performance from some students and alumni from all across the university. There will be more information about that coming soon. We're going to talk about that a little bit next week, but just to let you know that that is coming up later in June. So thank you all again for being with us this week. As I mentioned, we have one more performance to come from Kristin. Her latest quarantine project that she's in the midst of is to perform Bach's Goldberg variations, to perform all of them. So she's going to be recording them one at a time as she gets them together, posting them online. So to close out our show, please enjoy the aria from Bach's Goldberg variations. And thank you all again for being with us this week.